What is good, YouTube? AJ Boogie, back at it, bringing that JBA. Last night, if you did not watch the JBA, you missed a very good game. We had Dallas winning 104 to Houston's 92 in a defensive matchup. As I'm watching the game, I'm reading a few of the comments, and all I see is, wow, an actual basketball score. Wow, actually defense being played. Let me tell you something. You're watching the wrong games. I know that Melo and Jello are the attraction. They're the biggest draw. But if you watch some of these other games, watch some of these other teams, it's a good brand of basketball. This game was a good matchup. It's a lot of athletes out on the court. A lot of long athletes out on the court. I still can't get over Dallas baller Nate Morris. If you watch any other of my recaps about Dallas talking about Nate Morris, this guy is huge. He's a rim protector. If you made a 2K rim protector, it's him. To give you an NBA comparison, he's Tristan Thompson. I love this guy. He's got a high motor. He's not afraid to bang bodies. He's very athletic as a big man, a former Ole Miss basketball player. There's only a few guys who I see who can make the NBA. LaMelo Ball, Greg Floyd, and now I think Nate Morris is the third. Here's the thing with Nate Morris. He's very raw. You can only pass him the ball whenever he's got a dunking opportunity. He doesn't have much offensive game. You don't want him touching the ball out in the open court. He doesn't pass well, he doesn't shoot well, he doesn't dribble well. But what he can do is jump out of the gym and get your rebounds, and he sets monster screens. He's a walking double-double, and his size and athletic ability is what an NBA scout can't ignore, or at least look at. Big Nate finished with 21 points, 10 boards, and 3 blocks. A true post presence. A stat that you can't account for was how many shots he altered. Now, with that being said, he does foul a lot because he's always protecting the rim. A great big man can be a blessing and a curse. Here's why it can be a blessing. He's so big, he's so athletic that you can let your man slide to the basket and he's going to alter the shot. The curse part, obviously, there's going to be more opportunity for fouls, and you can get lazy on defense, which Dallas kind of did. He ended up fouling out of the game, and then that's when the tide kind of started to turn. Houston started to make a run. Dallas has to rebound the ball better. They got to have better defense from their perimeter players. Too many times they let their man go by. Nate Morris will alter the shot, but they don't have anyone else rebounding because they expect him. Blessing and a curse. Dallas's point guard, Khalil Walker, had a very nice game. I like this kid. He makes good decisions. He's smart. He's a true point guard. So far watching this JBA season, watching a lot of the teams, there's not too many true point guards. It's a lot of point guard by committee. There's only a handful of teams that actually have a true point guard. A point guard where they get the ball in their hands after a rebound. The only ones I can think of off the top of my head, LaMelo Ball and Khalil Walker. If I'm forgetting anyone, let me know in the comments. A kid who I'm very impressed with character-wise, Jordell Ross. He came off the bench for this Dallas team, shot 8 of 12 from the three-point line. This kid's a shooter, had 24 points, player of the game. That's who the JBA gave it to last night. I think it was Nate Morris, but it's no big deal. Now, I'm impressed with his character. They interviewed him at halftime, and they asked him what's his role, and he said, I don't care what my role is, I do whatever that the team needs me to do. If they need me to start, that's fine. If they need me to come off the bench, that's fine. I do what the team needs. A lot of kids that I've seen in the JBA, they kind of have a little ego. They want to play hero ball. Not this guy. He's one of the few that does whatever is best for the team. My last point I want to make about Dallas. They had the best coach in the JBA. Coach Ray Johnson. Now this guy's interesting. He won over 700 games in high school, winning 12 sectional titles, was a former assistant coach at Loyola Marymount. He's an X's and O's kind of coach. He makes good in-game adjustments. As I'm watching the first half, the Dallas team refused to give Nate Morris any touches. They refused to throw the ball to him inside. And Houston, who is playing absolutely terrible, they had more turnovers in the first half than they did points. And as I'm watching, I'm thinking they got to get Nate Morris involved. He's too big, he's too athletic to not be touching the ball at least. Right after halftime, what's the first thing they do? They get Nate Morris the ball. And I'm sure that's what Coach Ray told him. We got the most athletic guy in the gym, the biggest, tallest athlete on our team, and we're not giving him the ball. We got to run through him. Like I said, he doesn't have much of a post game, but you should use him as a screener every single possession, which is what they did. He sets monster screens that get people loose. They would start almost every possession with him screening a high pick and roll, driving to the basket. Now, he's so big and he commands so much attention. If he gets the ball right under the basket, it's done, it's game over. He's going up for a two-handed flush that no one can get up with. So, Ray Johnson, best coach of the JBA, best in-game adjustment coach. Easy. Now, let's talk about Houston. Even though their record is 2-3, they are a lot better team than what their record says. Houston had an ugly performance last night, but they were still in the game. Curtis Hollis, their best player, had an off game. He couldn't get much scoring done in the first half, and that really hurt Houston. They didn't have much offense, but they played tough defense. They gave themselves a chance to win with their tough defense. Now, someone who I think is the best player on Houston's team, Jordan Meyer. He had a poster in last night's game. He had a poster in the half court. If you can put a guy on a poster in the half court offense, you are a next level athlete. I'm not saying next level athlete such as NBA, but you're a high class athlete. Now, here's the backbreaker for Houston. They had 35 turnovers. They had 29 field goals. They had more turnovers than times that they put the ball in the basket. That's not going to win you a game at any sport, at any level. They got to get that cleaned up. They got to get that cleaned up ASAP. Every JBA team has got to get this going. They got to have a true point guard. They got to get organized. Too many teams have point guards by committee. You don't get in a flow. You don't get in a rhythm. And then you turn the ball over 35 times and get an L. Grade-wise, very entertaining game. I'm going to give it a solid B+. I would have had no problem giving this game an A, but Houston just turned the ball over way too many times. The defense was excellent. There were really no easy buckets that I can remember. Another thing that I really like, and I know they can't do this because of the rules, but last night, I don't think Texas Southern, they didn't make an NBA three-point line, which I like because it was obviously shorter. They had a college range three-pointer. It made the games a lot more interesting because these kids can shoot a college three-pointer. A lot of kids can't shoot an NBA three-pointer consistently. This game was pretty fun. Houston's going to be a force. As long as they got Coach Ray, they're going to be in any single game, anybody. And Houston's a lot better than their record shows. They got to get in the gym. They got to get organized. They got to run a system. That's all the heat I got for today. Like, comment, subscribe to the Boogie Squad. AJ Boogie, and I'm out. Boom!